Welcome to the stage the very talented Jordan Stills.
Thank you so much, everybody. Yeah, it's been a tough year for me and my family. If you guys don't know, March of this year, end of March, about 1 month before our wedding day, my wife was diagnosed with aggressive bone cancer. It's okay, you can laugh. If you find that funny. A couple assholes in the crowd tonight. It's true, she did. She got the exact same type of cancer in the exact same spot as Terry Fox, which I know because every single healthcare provider we encountered in our journey just could not wait to drop that fun fact on us. As if I was gonna be like, oh my God, honey, did you hear that? Terry Fox. It's a national hero. That's classy. You're like a patriot right now. It's like, I'm sorry, but the guy died, didn't he? Why do we have to keep bringing up the exact worst case scenario, the most famous, horrible way our exact scenario went wrong, right? Felt like we sprung a leak in a boat in the middle of the ocean, some asshole from a cruise ship just yelling, hey! You guys ever heard of Titanic? Yeah, they sprung a leak too. A bunch of people died. Made a movie about it. They won't make one about you guys though. Not with Leo. Yeah, it got to the point where I started pretending I don't know who Terry Fox is, just to watch them squirm. Like, oh my God, no, who is that? Did he make it? Who's sinking now, bitch? It was rough. She did 6 rounds of chemo and a surgery. Yeah, very intense, very intense. She got given one of the strongest chemo drugs that man has conjured up, called doxorubicin. It's got a nickname called the Red Devil. Yeah, based on its terrible side effects, and it's also got a bright red color. And one of the side effects from this drug is that you can actually start sweating red, which is like so intense. It's like some biblical, spiritual level stuff, you know? Sweating red, that's like Jesus sweating blood in the garden, or LeBron James in a Gatorade commercial. Real powerful imagery, you know? It's intense. It's very intense. Chemo drugs, they do not make you want to dance. It's not like other drugs. It would be great, though, if they did. Like, where's your wife? Oh, she's had Shambhala beating cancer. Having a time? No, they don't make you want to dance. They make you want to sleep or wish you were asleep. But we ended up watching a lot of TV. We watched every show on every platform, scraped the bottom of the barrel. You know what we found in one of these barrels? Beautiful gem. There's a show on Amazon Prime right now that you can all go home and watch where the rapper Little John renovates people's houses. I'm not kidding you. There's a show. If you asked me before that show, hey, who's the last person you want to work on your house? Like, well, that rapper Little John seems pretty volatile. Yeah. And the best part is the show is called Little John Wants to Do What? Yeah, it's the best. Go watch it. And the best part about it is anytime he suggests some batshit crazy thing to do to some poor couple's house, there's an audio drop in the background that's just like, he wants to do what? Yeah. So like, yeah, I want to take your kitchen island down. I want to put an arcade in there. He wants to do what? We're going to take your bathtub out. We're going to put a microbrewery in there. He wants to do what? Some poor middle-aged white couple like, I don't know, that doesn't sound very practical, Mr. John. Being bowling is never practical, bitch. I was actually once I watched it, I was actually very impressed with Little John's ability with the tools. Like, he was actually really good at renovating houses. He'd do anything you need replaced. Everything from the windows to the walls. to until the job was done safely and up to code. No matter how sweaty his balls got. It's the best. He wants to do what? I recommend it. We need a second season, so if anything comes out of this night, I hope it's you all supporting that show. Yeah. Chemo was really intense. There was a lot of stuff about it I didn't know before. We didn't know it could affect your fertility, your ability to have kids, which was pretty terrifying for me and my wife, because we always wanted to have kids. So we ended up at the fertility clinic, and originally we were gonna freeze her eggs, but when we got there that morning, they suggested we freeze embryos instead, because they're more likely to survive the thawing process. So I was like, okay, that sounds great. They're like, we need a sperm sample from you, sir. And I was like, okay, when do you want to pencil me in? Like Monday? They're like, no, we got to move on this now. We need it now. I don't know if you've ever had a medical masturbation session thrust upon you at 8 a.m. on a Monday, but it is not sexy, all right? And the pressure of the situation suddenly started hitting me all at once, Like this one sperm sample will decide if I can actually have kids. This is serious. This is not pleasure anymore. This is all business, all right? This isn't practice. This is the big fucking game, all right? We're not running drills today. I gotta come the best come I've ever come. And they handed me this little Tupperware cup. I was trying to get in the mood, so I'm talking dirty to the cup. It's like, oh yeah, I can't wait to take your top off and fill you up. You would wear the pink lid today, you slut. Trying to get into it, so I'm ready to go. I'm like, this is it. This is the big one. Well, this isn't Sunday morning with a bottle of lotion while your family's at church. This is for real. So I got psyched up, start going down the hallway to the room where we provide my sample. I get stopped by a young nurse with a clipboard, which is hot in the pornos, but in real life, real boner killer. All right? Terrifying. And she gives me this clipboard full of this questionnaire of all these questions I have to fill out, and the questions on this questionnaire, absolutely ludicrous. How many days since your last ejaculation? Days. We're talking days now? It should be 3 columns, hours, minutes, seconds, all right? So I put 0.17. She's like, this morning? I'm like, I'm a dirty boy. So I went into the room where I'm gonna provide my sample. Immediately, I know it's the most haunted room I've ever been in. Just sense the presence of thousands of other desperate men furiously trying to preserve their bloodline. This was a tiny room. All it was a black leather couch, butcher paper over it. I don't know what fucking sociopath's going in there like, oh yeah, dropping trowel, finally. Black couch, butcher paper, big screen TV, 1 channel, Pornhub. Yeah, 1 channel. By the way, if you watch pornography on a big screen TV, I don't know exactly how to put it into words as to why, but you're a fucking dirtbag. You gotta go that big? Cell phone, laptop, you don't gotta go bigger. 1 channel porn. I almost checked the history on that Pornhub. But then I thought of that scene in Indiana Jones where they open up that box and that guy's face is melted off. I was like, I'm not gonna do it. If I'm being really honest, I spent most of my time in that room trying to figure out what the coolest amount of time to be in that room is. There's a bunch of doctors and nurses walking around. I don't want to be in and out in 30 seconds. All the nurses be like, why'd you even bother locking the door, you virgin? I don't want them to find me in there 2 hours later, 60 tabs open on my Pornhub TV. I'm not finished yet! 12 minutes, that's the coolest amount of time in a medical setting. Just so you know. So I got in the room, I had to psych myself up again. I did it, I was like, this is for your family. Boom, I did it right into the cup, didn't even hit the sides. Fucking swish, baby. sealed it up, very proud of myself. Then I realized that no one had ever taught me how to carry a cup of my own DNA through a crowded hallway, you know? It's like, do I do like the lotus flower? Like, look what I did, you know? So I just toss it up and down casually like a dusty kid in the 30s with his baseball. How do you be? You know? Do I just bullet down the hallway like, whoo, curving left. No surprises there. I just put it in my pocket. That was what I did. You know, put it in my pocket, walked up to the nurse. I couldn't just hand it to her like an adult. I haven't matured since the 7th grade. So I had to be like, who ordered a Jaeger bomb? Yeah. She didn't laugh. She didn't even look up at me. She's just like, thank you, we'll call you if we need you. And suddenly I just felt like a 2-bit whore after a one-night stand. All insecure. I'm like, well, can I call you? No, we'll call you if we need you. Well, can I get a ride home? You said you drove. You can at least offer. Honestly, I really did feel dirty after that, like ashamed of my body. Like I probably didn't even have the courage to pleasure myself again for another 3-4 hours that day. Real drought for me. That was my contribution. My wife's was not nearly as funny. She had to do 2 weeks of hormone therapy. It was 3 injections a day. And during that time, she couldn't take her full pain medicine regimen. So she was in insane pain every day, every night. And there was a tumor in her femur splitting it up the middle like a piece of firewood. And it was excruciating, horrible to watch. And every day for those 2 weeks, just watching her every night. And I realized that, yes, this was horrible, but in a way, I was kind of witnessing something beautiful because she could have just said, you know what? I'm not gonna do this. I'm gonna screw the fertility, give me my pain meds, give me the chemo, let's shrink this tumor now. I want the pain to stop. But she didn't. She suffered through the whole 2 weeks, intense pain, just for the chance of these kids to exist. And it was like a mother's love transcending time. It was intense. And I knew watching this that 2 things were true. I was gonna love these kids with my whole heart till the day I die. Second, if they ever disrespected their mother, I was gonna break their fucking legs. Yeah. To remind them how much their mother loves them. What she went through for them to exist. I'm not gonna break them in half, I'm not a monster. I'm just gonna crack them up the middle. Have like a ceremonial, I only gotta do it once, right? Because after that, it's the threat that is the punishment. Right? Get a nice hammer, hang it up in the kitchen. And then anytime they talk back to their mother at the dinner table, I don't even say anything. I just go up to the stereo, I put on the song Can't Touch This by MC Hammer. They already fucking know what's gonna happen if they don't make it right by the time he says hammer time. Bow, down, down, down. No, Dad, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. Down, 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 down. No, put it back on the wall. Mom, I regret saying I'm sorry. I think people make the mistake of overcomplicating parenting. Just kidding. I'm not gonna break my kids' legs with a hammer. Their phones, probably, but. We had a ton of support from our friends and family, our comedy community. It was beautiful. But there's a tradition in our society when someone gets sick is to send them bouquets of flowers relentlessly, which is nice. It's a nice thought. But after about 15 bouquets of flowers, it starts to be a bit fucking ominous, all right? I wake up every morning, my living room looks like JFK's roadside memorial. It's not like I can water them all, keep them alive. The water bill would bankrupt my family. So they all just slowly die. Yeah, just my whole house. Just a symphony of slow degradation and death. Not the vibe we were going for. You just start realizing the more flowers you get is like it's correlated to how fucked people think you are. You know? Every day just, oh yeah, no, yeah, okay, oh, another bouquet of flowers, yeah. People really think this is the end of road for you. This one's got a card, water twice a day, you can make it to the, use it at the funeral. No, I know, it's just my grandma being frugal again. It's all good. We got married in the middle of her treatment. She actually was hospitalized on the day of our wedding, unexpectedly. She was what they call neutropenic, which just means her blood is like no white blood cells, no red blood cells, just like an unseasoned broth, you know? Like the world's thirstiest vampire could have taken a sip of her blood and be like, oh, you got any garlic salt? Very thin. Yeah, terrifying. It was terrifying. On our wedding day, it was horrible. But my wife, she's badass. She worked a deal with the doctors, like let me out just to get married, And they did. They let her out for about 7 hours on our wedding day to get married, and it was amazing. But her hair all started falling out that morning, so she went to get her hair styled, and it just big clumps coming out in the brush, terrible big clumps, and obviously my wife was devastated, inconsolable, crying, and I know what you're all thinking, bridezilla alert. Just kidding. She had a very beautiful, expensive wig. She was gorgeous. Anyone who was there can tell you she was beautiful. Kind of disappointed her eyebrow hairs didn't come out though. She kept that the whole time, which was disappointing for me because I figured once those fall out, I'd be the one to get to draw them on every morning, so I get to choose what mood she's in that day. I really wanted to. I wanted to draw them on, one's raised really high all the time. So like every time I say something to her immediately after, I could be like, what, you don't believe me? Yeah, 6 rounds of chemo and surgery. Her surgery was a success. They were very happy. Yes, it was great. It was a lot more involved than either of us really expected at first, because her tumor was right here in her femur, and we thought they'd just kind of take that little piece out, and I'll never forget when the nurses told us what they actually wanted to do, what the surgeon wanted to do. They told us she wants to take out 2/3 of her femur, her entire knee, and part of her shin, and replace it all with titanium. And if I'm being brutally honest, the very first thought I had when they told me what he wanted to do was, he wants to do what? Renovated her whole leg. Came in under budget, too. That's great. Yeah. Thank you. There's this moment where your doctor will actually tell you that you have cancer, and I've always, kind of thought about if I ever would have to go through that one day, or someone I love would have to go through get that news. And I always imagine that if they're gonna tell you that, they're gonna put you in a brightly lit room, lots of windows, a couple puppies, a gumball machine or something. But that's not what happened with us. They put us in what was equivalent to a broom closet, no windows, no fucking puppies. And it was really, really stressful. And what made it way, way worse was our doctor was over an hour late. So we're sitting in there waiting to hear if she has cancer or not for over an hour. And it was super, super stressful. I tried all the classic medical room comedy bits, you know, putting the huge Q-tips in my ears, pretending I'm an alien. Put the tongue depressors in my lips, pretend I'm a walrus. All great bits, all closing bits, if you ask me. But time just kept going, and they left the door open, which made it worse, because every time we heard someone walking towards us, we'd think it was the doctor, and it wasn't, over and over again. And I just started sitting there in silence, and she's terrified, and I just started spiraling out in my head, getting angry at stuff that didn't make sense. Like, the door was left open, and across the hall there was like this tiny door. I still to this day don't know what it was for, just this tiny door. And it pissed me off because I was like, what the hell is that for? They can't fit a broom in there. I start like focusing my anger on that, and focusing on like, there's no windows in here, like why would they put us in a room with no windows? I can't believe she has cancer. Like, where's our doctor? I can't believe it's this late. Like, what the hell? What is that tiny door for? What is this? God, there's no windows? Not even a puppy. I can't believe she has cancer. Where's our doctor? What the hell is that door for? Where are the no windows, no puppies? I can't believe she has cancer. Where the hell is her doctor? What is that tiny door for? And then it just broke the silence. I just kind of was like, where the fuck is our doctor? We drove 4 hours to be here, and he can't even be here on time. Like, where the hell is she? And my wife just calmly says, I don't know. But I kind of hope he comes out of that tiny door. Yes, and it was moments like that where we both realized, like, no matter how dire the situation, there was always a way to make a joke and laugh and take some of the power back when you feel so powerless. So I want to raise my glass to my wife. She's over here. And all the courage you displayed this year. And to anyone else who's ever had to face this evil disease. And to Terry Fox. Thank you so much for coming out, you guys, and for this.